all of you have known that project report is a Word doc, basically, where some of the organization, they have it in a form of a PDF, or some of the organization, they have it in a form of a Word, like a Excel. But it's basically a document where you'll have some words, and you'll have some charts, and some data, some statements. It's a combination of word and the chart. That's what I wanted to mention. So that's project report. So I just created this blank document, blank work doc here. So right from here, I just created a new work doc, right? And then because of my project management experience, I knew that project report may have all these may or some of the, at least some of the points here, they are always there in the project report. So I just copy pasted here those. So now, last time, if you in my one of the webinar, we looked at the projects and portfolio management board, and also the dashboard. So until now, you know that whenever you talk up the report, you have a dashboard, right? Monday has a dashboard where basically you connect either one board or two boards, and then you have widgets, right? Analyzing the project. So basically something like this. I'm just gonna open, and this I had shared in my earlier webinar, which was a project management workflow. So I'm just gonna show you this quickly. The use case was, we had a project portfolio board, and then we had some projects, and then we basically created this dashboard, like a portfolio dashboard, adding all these widgets. But so this is the one type of report you can look at, where you want to see all the widgets. But let's say that you want to, as I mentioned, you want to have a project report where you'll have project objective, project scope, and the stakeholders communication. So it's basically a Word doc, right? So then another way to have, so this is again a type of report, but another way to have a report is using a work doc. So we have all these steps here. So now I'll show you how we can build this project report in this work doc. Now let's say that according to your use case, you have some of the element here. So let's say that I have a project objective. I already have that here. So I'm just gonna copy paste. Similarly, you may have some project scope, 2-3 lines of project scope, right? And you can have this project report. It's just a standardized way, but let's say you have the project name. So you can have a project name here. So for now, I'm going to using this project website remodeling. So as I'm typing this, it's almost like a Word. It's so smooth with all the features. You must have already used Work Doc, but this is so smooth, just like your Word document. And then with the added features of All Monday, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So let's say again you have 3-4 sentences of project scope, right? And now there comes a time where you have some project milestone. Now we want that, rather than copy pasting or just like a traditional work doc. Basically, what will you do? You'll add a table, and you'll just write some of the tasks, some of the milestone tasks, and then you will add a date, right? So that's like typical whenever you want to write a project, whether it be Word doc or Excel, you will do the same thing. So that's like duplicating your data. You have the data in Monday, and then again you are writing it. So Monday has come up with this work doc where we can actually use the Monday data, because it's inside Monday. So why to duplicate it, right? So we should make use of this. So project milestone. So what basically you want that some of your milestone tasks and your dates. So all I'm going to do is Monday work doc has a ability to add a widget, and the simplest way is to just this slash, and if you type a widget, basically this comes up, and all you do is select that widget, and now you want to decide that you want to add which widget. So let's say for milestone, I want a table, right? Because that's what I would have done in the Excel or work.2. So I'm going to add a table. Now you added the widget, and now you want that because your data is in this board right here, project website remodeling. Let's quickly have a look at this board. You have some groups, planning, execution, and launch, and there are some milestone tasks here, right? So now I'm going back to my report. So now this one, you can either delete this. If I delete it, it will not show me, or if you don't want this, you can just copy paste it. Right. And then you don't even need this because now your table name itself, widget name itself is project milestone. So actually the experience is I'm actually writing a Word doc. It's so smooth. So now I'm gonna connect my board to this this basically widget. So I'm just gonna, it's like, and if you see it's similar to the dashboard, right? You just search the board in the dashboard also. You just connect the board, right? You do the same thing. You write a board name, and then it appears, and then you select it. And you can select, say again, you can select similar to dashboard. You can select one board, or you can select multiple board. So right now I'm just using one board because this is just an individual project report. So I don't need to connect any other board. So now you have this the table added, but now because it's only a milestone, so I don't need all this data. I just want to see milestone. So best way to use is filter, right? I'm going to go to my advanced filter, and I already have one column which is a milestone. I'm just going to save that. Now I can see only my milestones. And now I don't want to see this unnecessary columns. So all I do is I just want to see name and that due date. And very important is actual date. Okay. So now you see, because my due date is the planning date, and the actual date of completion is something whenever I complete that task, my date appears here. So I'll show you the example. So let me also add the status here. So this we have already seen in the last webinar, how we have used this automation. But let me show that again so that it will make sense. So basically, we are using this status column to timestamp this date. So this is due for 18th May, and I'm still working on it. And then I am done with this task. So then automatically today's date will appear. So basically, if you see now all my milestones, so this is the first milestone I had. And in the this also I had a few more milestones. And I can make it a little big. So that now I have all the milestones. So this becomes my project milestones, right? Now so similarly we can use some more widgets for and create this project report. So and of course every organization will have some more elements added to their project report, but idea is to have project report also in Monday so that you're not duplicating any data, and anything you are updating, right? So right now I updated this task, and it's true otherwise too. So now if I've updated this task on in this report, right? So now if I go to here also it is updated. And once you build this, so this is like one time project report you are building, right? Because as and when something is happening here, right? So let's say this is my second task in the month of June, it is due, and I have completed this. So the way it was updated in the from the Word doc to the board, also it's other way, right? Because data is definitely the source of truth is Monday board. We are just creating a view on that work doc, so it works both ways. And this is the beauty, because once you create it, it's like you don't have to create it again and again, and that does not happen in Word or Excel, because you need to update that as and when you are completing the task. Because project report is the one, some of the organization they have, if the project is short, of course, they have weekly project report, or they have monthly project report, or quarterly project report. So imagine every time you are updating that same data, you're putting again and again, right? But here, once you create it, once I filter it, everything is automatic here. So that's the beauty of this work doc. Everything is live, it gets updated live. So now my another feature is another element is project expense. Now for that, I'm going to use again widget, and I'm going to use this time a chart. Same way, I'm going to connect it to my website, project website. Now I want to see the project expenses. So this will require a little bit training, but once you are used, I'm sure you must have worked in the dashboard a lot. So definitely whenever there is expenses, we can use the line chart, right? And then the y-axis, you can see expenses. And then x-axis, definitely I want to fix my x-axis by task. So my task is nothing but the name. So now this is my expense chart. And let's say if you have a budget, because I have a budget column too, definitely it depends on the use case. If you're tracking a project task wise, or just as a project, some of the organization, they don't track the budget task wise, but let's say we are tracking the budget task wise. So I'll just go to the board and I'll show you. So we have this expense column, and we also have the budget column here. So let's say one use case, you can have just project expense, but let's say you want to do some financial analysis. So basically you will also use the budget, and you will see how it is different, right? What if your expense is more than the planned budget. So one chart can be project expenses, where you can just show the project expenses, and here you have the financial summary, right? So then you can have some meaningful explanation, and also then this project, the budget versus. So this chart is actually actual versus budget, right? So you can have this chart, project expense, you can add it here, and actually this actual versus budget one, you can add in the financial summary. Similarly, the project schedule and timeline. Now here we are going to simply use the timeline widget. I want to see how my due date is and what's my actual date of completion too, right? So let me just adjust, allot this to some people so that it will show up. Yeah. Okay. So now you can see what is the project schedule timeline and the actual. So this is a schedule timeline, the planned timeline, and also the schedule timeline. This looks better. So basically, Monday will always choose some parameters, but definitely you will have to see what is it what looks good for your use case. So if you want to show some task in planning and execution, so basically, if you see here, I just went here in the groups, right? In the group by, and this was a person column, but to show my schedule and timeline, for me it made sense to have have that grouping by the group, selecting group, so I selected that. So it depends on what you want to see in your dashboard, in your project report, and then you can select the settings accordingly. Now for project progress, I can simply have the battery widget. And I can also remove this because this doesn't make sense. Then now it's already showing me the project progress. 33% is done and stuck, and 8.3% working on it. So if Monday by default selected the status column, so if at all you want to again do some adjustments, of course you can show this here. Let's say you want to see only three groups or whatnot, you can select it from here. So so that was project progress. Then we also have the resource management. So this one definitely you can make use of Monday the workload widget. I'm going to go here and touch. So and then you just need to do some adjustment so that it's the all the data it's visible. So before it was weekly, but I made it monthly because I wanted to see there were some tasks in April too. So depending on your data, you can just adjust this. But this is like one time in when you are setting the widget, at that time only you have to do it. You don't have to do it again and again. And I'm showing the due date. Also, in the resource management, we can also set the efforts and capacity. So right now, there are some tasks which are unassigned. So if I assign some of the tasks, invite myself here. So now I can show the tasks to some people. Okay, looks good. My data looks good. So I just adjusted that data because this is a raw data. In reality, you'll already have some people allotted. Okay. Now you can see that Shweta is she has one task allotted in the month of May and the June, and here Vanisha is allotted two tasks. You can also set the, if you know how to use the workload widget, you can also set the capacity here. Depending on this case, we can count the items and set the capacity. If you are tracking the task hour wise, then definitely you can use the efforts and you can set the each capacity. So from here, basically, you set the capacity. Let's say 5 is the capacity. So now by default, everybody has, so per week, we can allot 5 tasks. And if I make, so now you see here, so now if, because there is a due date, we have taken due date into consideration. So now you can see there's only one task allotted here. So the resource management also, you can do it from here. So let's say if you know that this person is overutilized, for example, I'm just gonna give some more task here. Okay, so both are June 1st, and I'm setting the capacity as only one task. So then it will basically show me the red. You see, now she has more than one task in that. So basically, you can do the once this report is built, you can do the, you can see the who is overutilized and who has some more bandwidth to take one more task, and you can do that changes right from here actually. So let me click on this, and so now instead of, I know that Vanisha is overutilized. So instead of Vanisha, now I'm going to allot another person. And once, as you know, once you do this here, automatically it's done on the board too. So yeah, so that was resource management. Again, in the risk assessment, again, you can add some words, or again another chart if you can think of, you can add that. So then again, this one will be depending on the project health. You can have the stakeholder communication, because definitely you're going to use this project report to have a meeting, or touch base with the stakeholders. So whatever their comments, you can mention it here. Also, I explain you financial summary, you can use the budget versus actual chart. and then you can mention your next step. So whenever you are having that project report meeting, whether it can be with your team members, or whether you are presenting to your higher management, you will just have to have this project report in front of your screen. You can also have, whenever you are editing, you will prefer this mode, but whenever you are presenting, just like dashboard, we also have the full screen mode. You can also make it light, or I always prefer the dark mode for presentation. I prefer the light mode just for working, but for presentation, this looks very appealing. So I use that, or the night mode. So you can have this project report in front of you, and this is, as I mentioned again before, this is just one time whenever you are starting the project. At that time also, you can set this project report. You just have to add a widgets, right? And then all you are doing is the data is coming up as and when the somebody is working on that. As a project manager, let's say I'm building this report and I'm keeping it ready for my um, quarterly meeting. And as and when somebody is working on that project, the data is coming here. So all I have to do is just open up this project report and go for that meeting, right? And of course, basically, this report will also gonna help you analyze the project, right? Depending on the timeline, if you're lagging, or if the project health is not good, then you'll have to take some actions, right? So that for that also, this report will be helpful. Then so I showed you how to make it full screen. Also, let's say you want to same similar to the board, right? You can also have the at the rate like comment section here, so that actually you're talking about, let's say you want someone's help to create this report, right? And then but you can also, and you're reviewing it, so you can also talk to that person, or there can be several use cases. But basically, it's we have, just as a board, we have this commenting feature on this work doc. And if you notice, on the dashboard we don't have that, but on work doc we do have this the commenting feature. So you can communicate with each other right from here. Also, yeah, and also, like, Monday constantly updating this work talk. So recently they are also come up with the more document style, right? If you want, like, cover, right now it doesn't have cover image, but if you want the cover image too, just to, when you're presenting, make it more appealing, so you can have this too. And just apply. So some more formatting options we do have here. Let's say you want to make this medium title, you can use that too. Let's say if you want to use a checklist, we can use that too. And definitely, the most requested feature, we do have undo in this work doc. So that helps, because sometimes there's typo and stuff, so you can undo your stuff. Also, one more great use case is, you can share it with multiple users, right? So, and then it's a live document. So basically, let's say that you have shared with several people, and then they are also working on that report. So so Monday allows that too. It's like a online document, right? So we have that option to share it with who, we can choose this, either who can edit this document. So you have a permission access level permission also. Then one more thing. So this share is basically you are sharing it with your team members who are on Monday, the Monday licensed team members. So just like board, you add them, right? But and just like here, actually, let me show you. Now I added this report to my colleague too, right? But then we do also, just like dashboard and the board, we also have the share doc publicly, right? So you can create a view only access link, which you can, once you shared this board, basically anyone can, using that web, anyone can look at that link. So let's say copy. So this is like a shared link where whenever you will embed this link anywhere, the person can look at that. So this also can be very useful when you want to send it to your client or somebody.